All right. Do you remember what was the movie? With the you remember the movie Cars? Well, my kids were little when Cars came out, and the tow truck Mater. He was the tow truck that drove backwards, and there was always the line where he was supposed to watch this thing, and the policeman goes, "What did I tell you about talking to the prisoner?" And then Mater goes, "Not to." So you're very aware that you're not doing it.
Yeah.
To not to.
Right. So I know I need to. I think a period. So what do you think would be a great way to do that besides just
ring?
Hello.
Ring. Hey, April, it's Brendan.
Hey, Brendan.
Hey, thank you so much for meeting with me yesterday. I really enjoyed that 30 minutes together.
I did too. I got a lot out of it.
Awesome. Hey, I would love to reach out to talk to anybody on your behalf to get them off the fence, to see if they could possibly qualify, or I could teach them something different about their financing. Who do you have that I could reach out to on your behalf to see if we could get them qualified?
I do have little Sally.
Done. Stop.
Got it. Like that.
But by the way, that's Doug Bateman. Doug's biggest paycheck I ever saw was $586,000 in a month.
Okay.
Dougie Fresh. He's my buddy. He lives in Dallas. He's still a lender, former Marine. Look him up. #1 FHA lender in Texas a couple years ago. If we called him right now, he'd answer. He's a dipshit. His #1 line. Hey, do you have anybody I could reach out to on your behalf and see if I could qualify them, or, teach them something to help them, be a closing for you? Always about anybody on your behalf.
I think that's the key.
I patch Doug in. He'd be like, "Oh, I'm going over to a builder model right now." His approach was always and is stay positive, smile, and say, "What can I do to help you get somebody off the fence to help you make money?"
I like that.
And just so you know, his business 100%, he built it just calling on builder models. Going in, he's a happy-go-lucky guy. He's super fit. For now he is. He's yo-yoed. Super, nobody, and I mean nobody knows DU and LP better than him. He'll take files that have already closed and rerun them through DU when DU announces at midnight new parameters. He'll take old closings that the credit's still active in Encompass and go, "I wonder if it'll approve it now. The shit closed a month ago." You guys think you're good? He would toast anybody on this call. He literally would make you look dumb. That's why he makes so much money. And his rates are terrible. Everyone in here, he sells a 0.5% higher rate than all of you with a smile to realtors and builders. I laugh when people complain about rates. But does he lose some? Of course. Is he perfect? No. But that's his #1 line. All right, next. Jeff.
Thank you.
Jeff, what's your problem with realtor follow-up?
Keeping them motivated, and wanting to, what do you discuss on a weekly basis where it doesn't get stale?
I think we lost Brendan.
My question was so bad.
No, it was your answer. It wasn't bad.
He hung up.
It was so good.
He's like,
It was so
I lost
good.
another
I left him
realtor.
speechless.
Yeah. Oh boy. It's at
Jeff,
3%.
Jeff, I actually have a suggestion. Have you tried to have any pathways meetings yet?
No, I haven't.
It's we've had a lot of success with the Pathways meetings.
Sorry about
If
that.
you're,
I heard
hey,
you.
Brendan, I
Yeah.
was just explaining to Jeff that he could use the Pathways meeting if he's looking for basically a lure for
Keeping them
agents.
motivated.
Yeah, because I mean, they've loved it with our office, and it's a great resource for their clients. So, I mean,
Yeah. No,
you know,
let me say this. I think I totally agree with that. Keeping them motivated. Probably the toughest thing is to try to motivate others, right? I mean, it's just really hard to. You can only motivate yourself, Jeff.
Mhm.
Sure.
So we would always say this, that like there's these buttons down the side. It's like a rocket, and you got to kind of push the sequence code. If you want to stay tactical after a meeting, I would always say that the next meeting is, why don't you come in and I'll show you what we do that's a little different. And that would parlay into what Benton said, which is a pathways meeting or a smart start meeting or anything where you're showing them a tool that you would use essentially on them and then their clients. What
That, you know, I do those. I've had smart starts with all of my referral partners just to show them, you know, what we offer that differentiates us between other
Sure.
lenders and so on and so forth. But how do you keep the relationship, you know,
Fresh.
where yeah. So when you're calling, it's not like, you know, I know it's that weekly call, you know,
Yeah.
like, hey, how's things going for you, you know, so on and so forth. I know it's slow.
Well, let
You
me
know,
ask you this. What would you propose to keep it fresh that you would want if you were in that position?
well, I mean, you know, we're all in this together. You know, let's help each other. You know, so on and so forth. What can I do to help you? You know,
But what would you want if you were a realtor? What would keep you motivated if the tide was turned?
well, I think that was a great line, though. The line that you just gave us. You know,
That's
who do you
Doug's.
have?
Yeah. Who can
I-
I reach out to on your behalf to see if they
exactly.
qualify or what
No,
I can?
I
Yeah.
wrote that down. I'm making calls right after this. That's gold right there.
Yeah. It's
So,
very, by the way, very direct.
yeah, and no, that's coming from a place of contribution too. So,
Yeah.
which is important. It's showing them that you're not out there fishing for something from them, but you're offering something first
Yeah.
to help them. So I mean that's a great one liner. I'm gonna use that this week. But you know, again, it's about keeping it fresh and keeping them motivated, and you know, especially those who haven't had a closing in a month or two, or they're all the buyers that they're sending you are not eligible to be able to purchase a home. So
So
sometimes they can get a little down on themselves and
here's a thought, Jeff, that if you're not teaching someone about what you would do for their clients and to help them, then the other arena is just if this was a third. So over here is simply here's what Jeff does to help their clients close. The middle part, let's leave that blank. The far right is just pure entertainment. Hey, let me take you out for a drink. Let's go grab coffee. Hey, I do happy hours. Hey, do you golf? You know, oh my God, you love making pottery. Let's go do that together. Like physical, you know, and then let's say in the middle third, to me is always that like business stimulation, business coaching. Hey, I'm part of a think tank group and we're studying this book on time management. And next Tuesday in my office, we're going to have a 30-minute time management guru show up. You know, we're gonna work on business. This is this middle column, and I'd love for you to, you know, join. Outside of that, you are a salesperson.
sure.
Ring, ring. Hey, Sam, how's it going? Blah, 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 blah. How's Chicago? Oh my God, I love steak. You love steak? Cool. Hey, Sam, I was just checking in, you know? And that's the rigmarole of that. I mean, that's And you realize that most loan officers that are really successul, they have to do the same thing.
Right. Well, no,
It's
that's good to know. It's nice to hear you say that. I mean, I'm doing all of those things, and I was just looking for other ideas to,
Sure.
maybe some avenues that I wasn't thinking of to start heading down. So, but I appreciate that. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah. And the good news about what we do is that, if you have enough variety of realtors and other referring sources, I mean, here'd be a fun one today if you called every one of your realtors and said, "Hey, do you know any commercial agents that you work with and get referrals from?" Like, just every call in the next week is do they, like, think about their B2B network. Hey, I
Mhm.
was thinking about your business to business network. Do you work with any trust attorneys? God, I was thinking about your business network. Do you have a financial planner that you
Mhm.
meet with and has several hundred clients that have real estate needs?
Oh, that's
God,
great.
I was just thinking, this town is big, Charlotte, and we have your name's not Charlotte. Charlotte's big,
It's
and
got a
there's
lot.
yeah, Charlotte's got a lot, and there are commercial leasing agents that only want to find business owners that want to sign like a 5 and 7 year lease. Do you know any commercial leasing agents in Charlotte that you get business from?
Oh, that's great.
No.
That's gold. Thank
I
you.
mean, shit.
Brendan, what's gold is I was thinking about your business
Yeah.
and
Yeah, that's the first one I wrote down, and I
if you
underlined it. Yeah.
if before any call you made, if you spent 2 minutes thinking about that person and the meeting that you had with that person, and you could come up with something that's really actually good and could help their business, that's platinum.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, it's funny. I used to always think about realtors as a flow chart because the core has that business flow chart. And I always was like, realtors, their business is their core competency is their sphere, like over here. This is everybody that they know. Like and so I said, well, sphere, database, you know what I want to call it? Their wedding list. So that was the first thing, their wedding list. And they were like, well, I'm already married. I'm like, well, if you got remarried, who would you invite to that wedding? So it'd be your favorite past clients, your friends, and your family, and some neighbors. Then on the other side of their business was I came up with this little acronym, PWDKU, people who don't know you. PWDKU. And that was open houses, sign calls, all this shit that people that don't know them. And in the middle was the B2B, like, hey, if they actually have a business network, that's their business to business partnerships. So that's the flow chart. So I used to, when I met a realtor, I would just start drawing on a napkin that model and go, okay, where are you getting your business? Because it's 70% over here, the PWDKU. That realtor is a very much speed to lead. You got to call my clients fast. What's going on? Because they're out of control because they don't know their client. If they're only over here in sphere, family, and friends, they're like the house mom, just that 20 deals, not 20 shit, 12 deals a year. Now, if they're in the middle and they've got B2B, that's really good. Most don't. But the concept of like, why is this realtor so needy? Well, if they're 70, 80% over here, they're just on a morphine drip. True story. Had an agent, Holly Black. Look her up. She's in Nashville. She and I worked together. I took her out to lunch, and she was this drip, everything Zillow. And so it was like we were doing business, and there was this really needy VA client that was getting a second VA loan, and I didn't calculate the exact loan amount correctly, and he went somewhere else. Guy was a total dick. And we were having lunch at the Nordstrom's Cafe, and she'd never been. And so she she was sitting across from me, and she was kind of annoyed that I didn't like nail the VA thing, and I could tell something was weird, and it was like the lunch timing was perfect. And so she said something like, essentially we were in the middle of it, and she said she said something like, "Hey, well, I just want to give you a little feedback." And it was basically like, you were wrong, and you came across like the guy just didn't like that you were wrong. And I swear, in that moment, I looked at her, and I had sent her some clients, so I wasn't like just one-way street. And I'd been out to her office, and it was kind of like, instead of saying, "Hey, I know that the lead was kind of a prick, and let me say this, just benefit of the doubt. Brendan, you and I have worked together long enough." But it was like this, the way she said it was shitty. And it really revealed who she was. And so I looked at her in the face and I said, "Holly, do you want to know what people think about you?" And she reared back and she goes, "Yeah." I go, "They think you're flighty, that you're super salesy, you barely pay attention, and you're all over the place." That's what she got. We never did business together again. I wasn't going to be under the microscope of a realtor's business that's 90% shit, Zillow bullshit. Jump, jump, jump. Saturday call. Hurry up. Now, you guys right now can't do that. Don't ever do that. Go, "Thank you for the feedback, Holly. I'll never do it ever again. I'll kiss your ass." By the way, she's psychotic. Every lender that I've ever seen try to work with her, they can't. Too demanding. So if this is resonating with you guys, their sphere, their B2B, and over here, most of their business is coming from random people that don't know them online. That is going to affect the quality of the relationship. Sam, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I was glad when you qualified it with saying you guys can't do that. And I was going to ask you what
Why did I do it?
no, I know why you did it, but let's
Yeah.
go into a pretend world
Yeah, sure.
and say,
By the way,
could
this was 2013, 14, just to give you guys a timeline.
and you don't need to be under her microscope, and I don't need to be. And I get, like, one of the best feelings I had was during Costco. Trying to think who we were working with. I fired a realtor. She
Yeah.
goes, "Sam, I'd like to work with you again." I go, "I'd like for you to go back on the Costco network and find somebody else." And it was literally cathartic.
Yeah,
So I understand it, right?
sure.
My thought is, how could we have turned? But it's just one of those things that you fired her. So let's go back to something else that you touched
and
on.
remember this, just real quick. When you invest, and this is back to Jeff's full thing of like, how do you keep it fresh and how do you keep it real? Remember this, from like 2001 to 2013, I was a core coach. I was programmed by Rick Ruby. I was my business intent was to help people with their business. So someone like a Holly Black, I mean, I was meeting with her and helping her. So for us to go backwards, to get critiqued at a nice lunch about some dickhead call-in lead from Zillow, that, yeah, I screwed up the calculation, but like all of a sudden it was that breakup moment, Sam, that was like, oh wow.
It's cathartic.
Yeah. And
I
so,
love it.
yeah,
And I used to
I
take
would
too
never,
much shit.
yeah, I would never recommend, if any of you are just in that realtor follow up, get your first deal, you're in kiss butt waiter waitress loan officer mode, you cannot wield a sword. You have to come with roses, ice cream, follow up thank yous. I'm so sorry. You are subservient. Now, Jeff, you're new. If you're going to coach people and teach them Smart Start and do these things that add real value over time, can you have real conversations with realtors if things go bad? And the answer is yes. I've learned this. I was what, 40 then when I fired her, or 42. At 52, one heart surgery later, I would just say, hey David, you're Holly. You're Holly Black, David. Look her up. She's got like big hair. Holly, I really appreciate that feedback. I feel like you're giving me that feedback right now because you want to like deepen our relationship some way, or am I misreading that? Do it in your best Holly Black accent, David. You're on
You're on
mute.
mute.
My best Holly Black accent.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brendan. No, I mean, yeah, that's a great way to turn it. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, if at that point in time, my sheer business anger, because I knew she had a shit business, didn't overwhelm me and I
Right.
kissed her butt, I could have said, well, hey, let's work on this. And I probably would have given up 6 months later because she would have driven me nuts. But ultimately, for you guys now, this is about realtor follow-up. This call is about how do you make this job fun when you know they're stressed out and or they don't have the business.
But
So
you are so on to something, Brendan, with like
Yep.
it's still in my head that
Sure.
I was thinking about your business this morning. I'd
Like
love to
that.
explore that further. I mean, that's so good. How can a realtor say no to anything that's about to come out of your mouth, which is giving you a shot to say something that's actually really good? Like that's a
Yeah.
game changer.
Yeah, I was thinking about your business. So
But look at look at our conversation with Rick this week. The exact opposite. We're throwing a lifeline, trying to help him, and he's not getting it.
And in that instance, I would pull the Brendan and be like, "Hey, dude, I can't help you because you're not trying to help yourself. You're
Exactly.
right."
Exactly.
who else has a kind of just thoughts on realtor follow-up or frustrations, want to share kind of, or an experience that may have been successful recently that worked?
Can
McCain,
you
how's it
expound
going?
upon,
Sean?
I was thinking about your business this morning. Give me some examples on, okay, I'm thinking about your business. What can I actually do for this person other than, okay, I'm giving you marketing dollars, or I can give you training, or I can be present in your office. What
All
else
right.
is there?
We're just writing a song, Sean. Hey, Sean, I was thinking about your business this morning. I noticed you hadn't posted much on social media and just marketing calendar wise. I was curious because I was just at a conference where there was this whole marketing calendar of what realtors do. When's the last time you sat down and went through your marketing calendar and your social media calendar?
That's double great, Brendan, because not only were you thinking about them this morning, you've also been stalking them on social media. It's phenomenal. And I'm being funny, but it's phenomenal, right? I
Yeah.
was
Okay.
thinking about you and checking you out. That's easy and great.
Hey, Sean, it's weird. I was thinking about your business and I went on LinkedIn and I looked at your LinkedIn profile. When was the last time you updated that?
Yes.
Mm.
Awesome. Easy. Awesome.
Sean, I was looking at male models. No, fucking, Sean, I
help
was looking at
himself.
these. Ready? I'm just trying to think. Oh, Sean, I was thinking about your business and I was watching this thing that Gary V. You know Gary Vaynerchuk? You ever heard of that guy?
Mhm.
Sean,
No,
you have not heard of Gary V?
no, sir.
He's a online guy, started a wine company of his father's.
Influencer.
Yeah, I'd say he was like the original influencer online. Anyways, he was talking about product, like innovation with Apple and just creating like how like you can get stagnated by not creating offers that are out there. And I was thinking about your business and wondering, number one, have you invested in any type of books or material recently just to get, you know, your offer stack or how you want to present to a potential niche? So I was thinking about that, and maybe we could get together. And Gary Vee's got a cool book called ABCs of Marketing that I just purchased, and I'll bring it to our meeting. You know, like I'm just thinking like, hey, you can either. I was thinking about your business in LinkedIn.
Let's say you look at their LinkedIn, let's say you're connected and they'll share their contacts with you on LinkedIn. If you spend 10 minutes going through their contacts and you notice they have 5 CPAs on there, or maybe 5 people who are veterans, say, hey, I was looking at your sphere on LinkedIn. You know, you've got a lot of veterans. Have you ever thought of teaching a class about veterans? Sean, that could be relevant to you because you're a veteran. Like you can learn a ton from LinkedIn, Brendan. You're on
Yeah.
for sure something.
All right, here's another one.
Hold on, it seems like a slippery slope that, hey, Mr. Realtor, I'm looking at your business and I'm going to tell you how to fix it. That doesn't really go over very well.
Not
And-
fixed.
Well, I mean, hey,
I know I'm not going to say the word fix, but that's a lot of times that's how that's interpreted is I'm looking at your business and I'm going to point out all these things where maybe you're not
Okay,
doing
we
well
can
in, and I'm going to tell you how to fix it.
How about this? We could go a little more passive. Ring, ring, or, you know, let's say you kind of know them. I mean, again, we're just doing a song here. We're just writing poetry that we're putting on paper. This is not official. It would be something like, hey, Sean, I was looking at LinkedIn and myself, I'm frustrated with mine and trying to figure out how to kind of use it more because it seems like all these different businesses are on there and I feel like it could be a good prospecting tool, but I kind of suck at it. I was looking at yours, like when was the last time, have you played with LinkedIn or thought of it like a business source, or what are your thoughts on LinkedIn?
Yeah, I like that.
Sean, if you're worried about them taking it that way, you could always do a compliment sandwich. You know, start off something you really like, fluff them up, then in the middle, get to your point, like, hey, I was thinking about your business, and get to that point and make sure they don't take it the wrong way, and then end it on the other end with another compliment. Sneak it in the middle there.
Yeah. You know, the never split the difference. Chris Voss, he's always like, would you be against? Are you opposed? Would you be against exploring LinkedIn and seeing if we could drum up some business together? My business is kind of slow right now with business to business contacts. I was at some conference and this Yutz said on stage that we should all go after more business people. You like that, Sam and Dave? Yutz, getting my Yiddish in.
That's a compliment sandwich.
That is a compliment sandwich.
Something's coming.
Like, hey, mom, the matzo balls too. Bring it in a little bit, mom. It's for the heart. It's for the heart. It's for the mitral valve, mom.
But tell me, Brendan, from what Sean said, sure, you could offend somebody, but if you guys were ever on the first phone call that Brendan and I had, he offended the shit out of me and it worked. It's called the Challenger sale, Sean. Yeah, the guy may not need his business fixed.
Oh my
Don't
God,
come at him
Sam
like
was
you're
going on and on about the lion and the wild kingdom. Oh Jesus, it was. You were so. Yeah, I loved it.
But Brendan, think about it. Sean, your point, don't be afraid. And Brendan, I defer to you on this.
Yeah.
You can't be afraid if you're coming from a good place.
Yeah,
if
right.
you want to help somebody, and I've caught myself saying this, I say,
Sure.
listen, I'm not saying that your business needs fixed, but right, like let's do something together. Like Brendan,
Yeah.
you think about this much more than I, right? I was thinking about your business this morning, okay? And I was looking on your LinkedIn. When's the last time you updated your profile? Okay, that could be offensive, but it's better than, hey, this is Sean and I blah, you're showing to them that you took enough time to care about what they're saying. What Brendan did to me was he rejected everything that I said, but I knew that he was listening. I knew that he was engaged, right? It got us into a very lively conversation, and then truth was had.
Well, also remember this, Sam. I haven't moved companies in a long time. And when I did it for 1 year and then I went back to the bank. So when we were getting fucked by our bank and Michael, Anthony, and Jimmy and I had all come together, like I was looking for the meat around the operational core of getting basic loans approved and like the knowledge of this operation. And you were coming in with marketing and it was all good. It wasn't noise, but you were so excited about the brand, which by the way is real. Like everything you were bringing was like this fluffy. It was like the mashed potatoes and the salad. It was like Thanksgiving, but you weren't giving me the turkey, and I wanted the turkey and the beef Wellington, and you were just kept going around, and I was like, Sam, you gotta stop.
But,
so it wasn't truly, it wasn't Challenger. It was more just like we are making an operational move with 25 people, and it is about operations first. So
how is that any different than a realtor who's set in their ways with their specific loan officer?
Right.
You got to challenge them, Brendan. I learned so much from you that day.
Yeah,
I did.
Well, I think this: if a realtor is shitty over, no realtor ever says I'm shitty with my sphere, because their instinct is to follow up, give them the recipe cards, check in on their sphere. No realtor that spends money on the people who don't know them and does open houses, none of them would admit to sucking. Most of them they don't have that good of retail sales skill to convert those people the best. Here, the middle section, the B2B section, you can always be helpful. And then the other section of just being a friend and saying, let's go play pickleball or let's hang out together and do things. Time out. Real story. Sam, and this could help you guys. This realtor that moved from Louisiana that was buddies with Josh. So he's starting to refer me. And I've already referred him a lead. And we had this heart-to-heart yesterday. It's just so funny because they've been buddies since college. But now he's here. And he's setting up his new business here so they don't talk anymore. He's really good friends with Mark Spain. The guy from Atlanta, Mark Spain, Realty. Huge business. Billion-dollar business.
Yeah.
This guy's going to be a whale. I really like this guy, Tim. Anyway, so we're just bonding over Sean. This is a guy that he started the relationship with me. So I'm kind of sitting here going, do I have to coach him? He's got a business in Louisiana that's really good. He moved to Nashville. So I now know this, Sam. He has 3 young children, 6, 5, and 5. He does not have this in the middle. He does not have a B2B network in Nashville. So that's all I'm thinking. It's just like, hey, how do I start to connect him to people and just do a good job? And I already said to him, hey, Tim, I'd love for you to meet my whole team, because like if you want me to help like the older doctor, but you got young first-time home buyers, I've got a team of guys that could help. And if you're going to develop realtors, I don't want to do what I did with Josh, which is I had a relationship with Josh. I had a relationship with Stephanie. I had a relationship with Caroline. I trained the newbies. I hung out with the office manager. I was too present in all of it, and I should have divided it. So if you guys have a whale realtor, it's hard to hold on to a whale with 7 or 8 buyer's agents, because 2 of the buyer's agents are going to hate you and undermine you. But if you had somebody else on your team that could handle them and you could figure out a comp plan, nobody can handle a whale for that long. You burn out because the whale starts to detach, and then it's the 3 lead buyer's agents that David didn't call one of them back fast enough and his rates suck, and Sean, said something weird to one of the clients, and Sam didn't disclose the LE correct, and there's just all this chatter.
But you know what strikes me about this, Brendan? Even though it was a sidebar, it was a riff, you clearly have a plan around helping his business.
Oh,
Which is
Tim's?
no different than the call
Yeah.
of I was thinking about your business today. So what I know, and I've never met him, I've heard about him very little. I know that that guy knows in his heart of hearts that you're thinking about his business all the time. And guys, if nothing was taken away from this, every call that I'm about to make, and I'm making bigger calls than I ever have in my life, I spend 3 or 4 minutes before the call, and I know, Brendan, I should spend more because there's a lot at stake. But I spend 3 or 4 minutes before I make that call thinking about what am I going to say to him that's going to add value to his business. He doesn't need me, right? I've got a call today at 1 p.m. This guy, Justin Pone, knows exactly who it is. Justin set him up. This guy has a phenomenal business, doesn't need me at all. All I'm going to do is show him, listen, you've got an unbelievable business. So there's the compliment sandwich. Thank you for that one, Ed. And then I'm going to just paint a picture for him about thinking bigger because he's got great, but he's going to do better. And I know that resonated with you, Brendan, right?
Sure,
But
always.
Guys, the point is have a plan for that person's business. Sean, they may tell you to fuck off. Okay, it's the wrong person for you. There are 25,000 others like him that you're going to connect with.
Hey, what on that guy, Sam, in particular, does he have any corporate to corporate accounts?
I'm learning. He's got a good business in Louisville.
But he does. So
he's not a realtor. He's a loan officer.
I know. So I was just thinking about your opening line.
Remember, I've already had a 15-minute call with him.
That's
to
cool.
set up. Yep.
Yeah.
My opening line is going to be, Jesse, I know you don't need to make a move. You're in a great spot.
No. Why don't you do this?
Okay. I'm writing this down. If it goes wrong, it's all you.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't start there because that's like the salesperson call. Say, I'm trying to think of like a recent event. Hey, his name is Jesse?
Jesse Cronin, referred by Justin Pone.
Okay, so Jesse, hey, do you ever watch Joe Rogan?
Rarely.
Oh, rarely. Well, it was weird. I was in this, our company makes us do these stupid business corporate trainings. And I was watching how Joe Rogan like grew his business. And I don't know if do you ever do like corporate to corporate targeting?
Not enough, Brendan. I don't need to.
Well, it was something that I thought of you. You said you don't need to?
Correct.
Shit. So you're sticking with realtors.
Yep.
Well, then
it's been really good to me.
You know what I'm going to do, Jesse? I'm going to put my pants back on because I'm not wearing any underwear right now. And I'm just going to go back into my kitchen and make my matzo ball soup. I mean, let me say this. If he says that, why would you say anything? It's like, oh shit. I'm dancing around. Hey, I know you don't need to make a move. Then everything's predicated on like, you're the pretty girl at the bar. Hey, I know you're so pretty. And I just thought I would come over and like buy you a drink that you're not even going to drink because you're waiting on your boyfriend who's a model. Like, okay. I'm just thinking it's more flirtation around business B2B concepts. I was thinking of you, and I don't know. Do you watch Joe Rogan? Do you watch, do you read the Wall Street Journal, or, what's something that's going to stimulate this guy's brain to where like he's thinking, man, I hate working with realtors and I wish I had something else.
Brendan, you guys have 4 hours to come up with something great.
I just like the idea that you were thinking about a different business channel for him. And if he wasn't against it, you were going to send him a little thesis that you've been working on that you've designed around your Costco relationship. And you thought it could be helpful if he was into that kind of stuff.
Well, my thought with him is he mentioned to me that his business is becoming more national. And I was going to pursue that. He's Kentucky down to the Gulf Coast on the Panhandle. So I was going to paint a picture of what that could look like. That was where I was going to go.
There's your intro.
Yeah.
Hey, Jesse, Sam, you had mentioned a week or two ago in our conversation, and it stuck with me about your business was going more national. And what I've found, I don't know if you're open to this or you would be against it, but I feel like a lot of loan officers, you've got a rare gem you're working on in your brain right now as you're seeing that. And the real question is how would you capitalize on it and develop it so that it could really harness into something huge? I know it was a couple weeks ago that we last spoke. What are you doing to kind of scratch that itch, Jesse? Well, dude, I'm in the middle of a realtor meeting right now. Shit,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, he's already given me that twice.
Oh, fuck, I've got all these rate renegotiations. I mean, this is crazy, man. It's like so fucking nuts. All right, hey, well, Jesse, asshole, you did answer my phone call, so you're not that busy. By the way, I'm thinking about this. I've got a thesis. I'm writing it. Let me know if we could carve out some time, because working on national development plans, that's what I love.
Mm-hmm.
You have a great day. Get back to that realtor meeting. We'll be in touch. Click. What else are you gonna do? I mean, you're flirting with a lion. Like unsolicited call. You're just dancing.
But no, Brendan, this is completely solicited. Justin set it up, circle of trust.
No. But I'm saying your follow-up is unsolicited. Like
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
not.
yeah.
He isn't saying it's Friday, December 17th, and I can't wait for my call from Sam.
No, he's not. And he's made a point of letting me know that he's not, because he's rescheduled. But again, he's talking to me because he's interested, I think. He loves Justin, but he doesn't love him that much to waste an hour of his time that he'll never get back with me. Anyway.
Remember, if it's not
He's
broken.
curious, Sam. He's curious.
Yeah. What's his company?
North
I have
Point.
it all written down. He's with the North Point Bank. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, no one's interested in moving until something's broken.
Yeah, what are the pain points? I mean, that's like
So-
Brendan's point on the ops side.
I don't know what the pain points. There are some. I can feel it, right? I did a lot of research, David, on the bank, the best that I could. I looked up financials. I looked at his NMLS history, and this is that time for him. He gets restless. It's all, we're painting a picture, but all I can do is and again, I think the takeaway from this, and Brendan, I hope you would agree. I hope you guys would all agree. Preparation, right? And activity, showing up. I'm going to show up for that call. I promise you. And I'm thinking about it. I'm preparing. I think you guys have helped me, but that is no different than your approach should be with every single meeting.
Hey, do you remember the movie with Will Smith and the really where they're in Vegas and it's like they're both like con artists. The
6
chick.
Degrees of Separation, great movie.
No. Will Smith and the blonde actress.
Focus. No, it's Focus.
Focus, yeah. And that whole scene where they've been programming the guy all day to pick the number 55, the Asian dude, where he has to. You don't remember that scene in the movie?
I don't remember the movie.
Should have started with Margot Robbie.
Margot Robbie, yeah. Well, the whole goal is if you don't remember the movie, it has no point here. Sorry, no biggie. It is 9/17.
Hey, Brendan.
Yeah.
I'm really happy to see you.
Yeah. I'll tell you
Me
what.
too.
Being off pain meds, the only thing is this incision right here. It is like a little spiked ball inside my chest. And it's just it's like being knifed. So that's the part. Woo. I'm in week 2. Apparently this is a 4 to 6 week recovery. I was thinking it was a 2 to 4 week recovery. It's one of those things where like my energy's good, but when the little spiked ball wants to start like,
Throbbing.
oh, it is one of those, like, whatever you've really felt a lot of pain, this would be a 10 on the pain scale. So it's kind of like, oh shit, it's just debilitating for like anywhere between 3 to 10 minutes. And then it's like, I made it through. So
That's like my first call with you. I'm very familiar. I've been saving these jokes up. Now that I know that you're okay, I've got 20 to 5, 25 to 30. I've been waiting for these, Brendan.
yeah, good. All right. Well, so the goal of today would be realtor follow-up and B2B follow-up. Make it about them. And and if it's not working, back to the little buttons. There's so many. You're going to screw one of them up. And don't do what I did with Holly Black and dynamite the relationship right there at the lunch table. Kiss some butt, smile and say, oh my God, I screwed up. What can I do to re-earn your trust, Sam?
Is that a picture of her, Brendan?
Yeah, where is she? Holly Black.
In the chat?
Did somebody have it? Let me see.
I looked her up too.
Let's see. I got to see the
In
chat.
the chat. I
I'm
don't know.
looking. Hold on.
Hit the chat button. Oh boy.
Wait. Yeah, that's her.
That's perfect.
She has a master's in education from Vanderbilt. That's the crazy part. Like, she's crazy smart. When you find realtors that get in that PWDKU stack, it's almost like they've trained themselves to be ADD and super sensitive, like to timing, and like they almost become a person that they're really not. They're like an actor or an actress. It's really weird. And I found that just know that if you're calling on like a big Zillow agent, that they pride themselves on their Zillow ranking, you're going to get somebody who has they're going to be very difficult to work with. So,
Hey, there's a market for everybody.
Yeah.
Yes. All right,
Welcome
boys
back.
and girls. Next week, we're going to do the Smart Start Academy. Don't know what we're going to talk about, but it's going to be something regarding Smart Start. And hopefully, here's one other thing. Get out ahead. The irony of all this rate stuff. I mean, I think it's bad. I think it's bad right now. And here's why. Inflation is increasing at a decreasing rate. It is increasing at a decreasing rate.
Mm-hmm.
I have not seen one industry, you name it, where salaries are increasing. Not one. At a rate that's with inflation. So if we are at an all-time low of income to affordability for everything, how does lowering interest rates, we have a limited inventory, we're going to increase the number of buyers, therefore increase housing costs. How does that solve anything? It solves nothing. Look at the chart from Peter Goldstein, the thing yesterday. There's less than 10% of Americans have mortgages above 5%. 90% of fucking mortgages are under 5%. Like, worrying about lowering rates so that we can refinance $455 billion worth of rates, that's bullshit. So getting excited about rates going down is a terrible thing right now. You heard it from me first. I would be like, this is not good. Now, this is what I believe. I'm in a financial boat that a lot of you guys aren't. So I can do different things, but I've also saved a shit ton of money over 20 plus years. So right now, I'm buying real estate with my business partner because
I think it's going to go up. And I think, personally, this next 24 months is going to be it needs to be as rough as it was for the last 12 for all of us to be better financially. That's what I believe. So all this hype, don't get too wrapped up in the hype. The purpose of me finishing with this is I don't like seeing anyone getting too wrapped up in the social media. Rates are dropping. It's a good thing. You can act that part, but I promise you, if these rates drop more and house prices go up another 10%, we are fucking ourselves bad as a nation. It is not a good thing. And maybe Barry Habib will say that. Maybe he won't. Maybe you won't hear it from anybody else. And maybe it'll take 10 months or a year for me to be right. But man, there's every now and again, I've predicted things that my buddies on Wall Street are like, how did you see that happening? And I'm like, it was so obvious to me, I couldn't not see it happening. So right now, the train wreck of all this enthusiasm around rates going down a full percent is going to bite us in the ass. Yay! Finish on a high note. Love all of you.
Take
Love
it
all
easy.
See you guys.
Be well.
Yeah. Hey,
Hey,
Brendan. One thing to add is, all right, never mind. If anybody else is curious, though, he did ask, like, is there any industry where salaries are actually going up? And I do know from being an educator, used to be a high school for 10 years, that any teachers union, as they're renegotiating their contract, they're using inflation as a very powerful tool during their negotiations. And they are getting, I know the district that I used to be in, they just voted and passed a new contract last week. And they got one of the biggest raises that they've gotten in a very, very, very long time.
That's good.
So I would say, again, that's one single district, right? But if that's happening in one district, I would assume that it's happening in a lot of others. So there are places out there that, people are getting raises, things are happening, but I would assume that it's probably going to be more on that public side rather than private side.
Yeah, my fiance is a private school teacher. She did not get a raise this year.
So, all right. Take care, y'all.
Cool. Thanks. Bye.